First up is Death at a Funeral. This is a 2007 British movie starring a bunch of great British actors and also Alan Tudyk and Peter Dinklage. It's also directed by Frank Oz, my third Frank Oz movie, directed by Frank Oz movie. And yeah, it's incredible. It's so freaking funny. It's a dark comedy, as you can imagine, based on that title. But yeah, it's so great. I've known about this movie, I think, since it came out. There's also that American remake of it with an all-black cast, except I believe Alan Tudyk and Peter Dinklage are also still in that one as well. But yeah, it's great. It's so funny. Yeah. I do think that I knew some of the plot points going into this just because it is such a well-loved movie. Because every now and again I'd be like, wait, is this about to happen? And then it happened, and then I'd like laugh my ass off because it was so funny. But like it didn't, like, knowing stuff was going to happen didn't take away any of my enjoyment of the movie. So if it was predictable, like if I somehow didn't actually know something, but I just guessed what was going to happen, I still think it was worth it because it's just so ridiculous and so funny. The real standout to me, though, is definitely Alan Tudyk. He's the right man. Look at that little guy. He kind of reminded me of Steve Martin in this, specifically Steve Martin when I saw him in Dirty Rotten Scoundrels, because just Steve Martin can do like such great, absurd physical comedy, and it's like if anyone else tries to do what Steve Martin's doing, they just look silly, but Steve Martin doing it looks ridiculous and amazing. And like it's the same with Alan Tudyk here. He's doing a physical comedy in this, and it's so absurd, but like it's believable with him. I won't spoil what Alan Tudyk kind of does with this movie, but like it's great, and he steals it for me. Yeah, so I definitely put this in the really liked category. That was an easy decision for me. And honestly, I think this is a movie I might recommend to my dad. I mean, there's some nudity in it and a little bit of drug use and a little bit of swearing and stuff. But I think this is honestly a movie I think my dad could get behind, just because like he's been to, not an absurd funeral like this one, but he's been to a lot of funerals, so like I think he'll get a kick out of it. But yeah, definitely recommend this one. I don't know if the American one is any good. You can see for yourself. But yeah, this one's definitely worth a watch. Next up is The Garden of Words. This is a 2013 Japanese movie, I guess anime, made by the same guy who made Your Name, which is incredible. And it's a really, really short movie. I think it's like just over 40 minutes long. So I was like, oh, does this actually count as a movie? But I'm like, I'm really busy with work. So yes, this counts as a movie. And I will definitely say right away, it is insanely beautiful. Just like all the animation is just gorgeous. And it has probably the best animated rain ever. And it's just like that alone is wonderful. But that doesn't really save the movie for me. I really did not care for this movie. And I kind of have to spoil it a bit. So the movie is really about like loneliness and stuff. It's about like this teenage boy who's lonely. He always skips schools whenever it's a rainy morning. And then one day he meets this adult woman. She's like 26. And they form an unlikely friendship. And you're kind of wondering what her deal is. Like you slowly learn about what's going on in her life. And then near the end of the movie, you finally find out that she is a teacher at his school. And she was accused of doing stuff with one of the kids at the school. So she's been not going to work because of that. But she spends the entire movie hanging out with this teenage boy, even though she definitely didn't do anything with the thing. Like she didn't do the thing she was accused of, but yet she does spend the entire movie with a teenage boy. And at one point even being alone with him in her apartment. And like, it's not set up as like she's trying to, do stuff with him, but like it feels like all kinds of no, because like she is definitely alone with this boy. And at one point he like feels her feet. He's making shoes, and he like spends a lot of time like examining her foot, and it's no. Like I get where they were going for, but just no, it's creepy and weird and strange. And yes, it's Japanese, so maybe cultures are slightly different there, but still, you don't set up someone who's accused of being a child diddler and have them hang out with the child the entire movie. That's just, no. I put this in the meh. I didn't hate it because of the beautiful animation, but still, This is just a hard no. And lastly is Free Fire. This is a 2017 movie starring Armie Hammer, my second one at Ham, Brie Larson, and Cillian Murphy, also some other people. Premise of this movie is it's a gun deal gone wrong, and so the entire movie is just a big gun shootout thing. So like the whole thing takes place in one location. They had a really solid cast, and I loved the premise, just like kind of like a bottled episode movie. And gun shootouts can be really, really fun. But I think they did an incredibly awful job with that premise and setup and everything. Kind of the two big complaints are so it's all in one location, so you feel like you'd have a good sense of like where everything is and whatnot, but no, you never have any clue where anyone is in relation to anyone. Like, oh yeah, so that guy's hiding underneath the car, that guy's behind a pillar, they're shooting at each other, but like where in relation are they really? Are they like super, super close? Are they really far away? Like what's going on? And then so like these guys are here, but then there's someone over here, I guess, or maybe are they actually over here? Where is anything? And you don't know the entire time. And then going off of that, I didn't know who was on whose side, who was on red team, who was on blue team. And then like, because there's also like accidental shooting of teammates, and that's supposed to be funny, but I'm like, were those guys on the same side? I remember them maybe talking once, but they were kind of angry at each other. I don't know if they are on the same team. And just like, and then like there's some like betrayal stuff that happens too, and it's like I don't get the betrayal because I don't remember who's on whose team. And it's also I don't get anything, and it's just bad. And also like a lot of great actors who are not doing their best here. Like Brie Larson kind of stood out the most because I love her as an actor. She is a phenomenal actor. You should definitely watch Short Term 12. Her in that is incredible. That's just an amazing movie that everyone needs to watch. But in here, it's just kind of, I don't know. I've never used the word wooden before, but I guess I'm going to call her wooden. And then she's also like the token love interest thing. And I'm like, what the hell is this about? This feels just like jammed in there because like, oh, since we have a female character, she has to want to bone someone. And there's also just one black guy in here as well, who was incredible. I loved his bits because his thing is just insane. But it's also just like, oh, so you have the token black guy and the token white chick. So yeah, that's yeah, I did not care for this movie at all. It's an easy didn't like. I thought about not finishing it, but I was like, let's just go for it. I think it's only like 90 minutes long, but it felt way longer than that. Yay.